When you see an insect, how do you feel? Some people think insects are disgusting and ugly. We want to change that. We want to teach you more about some common insects. It's important to appreciate and assist the insects in our ecosystem. When you know more, you'll like insects. The first reason insects are important is that they pollinate a lot of the food we eat.
Pollination happens when the pollen of one flower is moved to another flower. The pollen is moved by insects. This flower is shaped like a crown. The insects have to walk on the blossom to get the nectar. This means that the pollen will get caught on the insect's legs. This flower is shaped like a landing pad. The insects have to walk on the blossom to get the nectar. This means that the pollen will get caught on the insect's legs. We need to help insects. Insects help flowering plants reproduce. This gives us food to eat.
Next, let's look at some special features of insects. These features make insects so interesting, fun, and cool.
Every insect has a different life cycle. There are two major types of life cycles, simple and complete. Let's compare them. The simple or incomplete life cycle of a Murmuria includes 3 stages: egg, nymph, and adult. The Murmuria nymph looks like an adult, however, it is much smaller. Isn't it interesting to know that the Murmuria nymph sheds its skin 7 to 8 times in 6 weeks? The Canada swallowtail's life cycle has 4 stages: egg, larva, pupa, and adult. This means the insect goes through complete metamorphosis. Isn't it interesting to know that the Canada swallowtail starts their larva stage brown and white, then at the end they are big and green? During the pupal stage, it changes from a worm shape to one with big wings. Next, let's take a look at the physical traits that all insects have in common.
All insects have a thorax, head, abdomen, and jointed legs. Insects have many different shapes and sizes. This is because each kind of insect has different body structures. They use their legs for different things to help them survive. All insects have a femur, tibia, and tarsals, but they look different on each insect. For example, the mud dauber wasp has hooks on the tarsals to help them walk and crawl around. Their legs also help the females to hollow out mud balls to lay eggs inside. The Canadian swallowtail uses its legs for tasting food. Isn't that interesting? There are little hairs on their tarsals that help them sense they walk and perch on their inch-long black legs and let them hang when flying. In addition to adapting leg characteristics to their habitat, insects also adapt to the plants in their habitat.
Animal that lives on this world gets their energy from plants or from eating organisms that have eaten plants. Insects are the primary group of animals that supply that second-hand energy for the animals that can't eat the plants directly. This role makes them a vital part of the ecosystem. Removing insects from an ecosystem will almost certainly spell out doom. Each insect has evolved to digest only the chemicals in native plants. Native plants are plants that have been in Maine long enough for the animals around them to be in balance. Invasive plants are new plants that need lots of time to adjust to the ecosystem, and they have a negative impact on the ecology because of that. Humans have filled most of the natural land in this country with our cities and farms, 95% of it actually. We could help support these shrinking ecosystems by planting native plants such as goldenrod in backyards and city parks. As you can see, insects need native, not invasive, plants to live, but they also have many other challenges, one of the biggest being climate change. Global warming is the gradual increase in the Earth's average temperature. This slow warming is caused by the greenhouse effect, an effect named after the small room that lets sunlight in but no heat out. In the global case, carbon dioxide hangs out in the atmosphere, letting the sunlight in and not letting enough heat out. So the heat is increasing, and that can cause a plethora of problems. The Murmuria vivittata need soft sand to lay their eggs underground because they don't have the capability to dig holes in soil. Rising waterways caused by global warming may cover sandy areas, leaving this particular grasshopper without a place to lay their eggs. If the climate changes too quickly, certain plants will die and affect insects that we need. For example, the mud dauber wasp uses Queen Anne's lace for food. Without this plant, the wasp will die if it cannot find a new source of food. One way that we can slow the rate of climate change is to reduce the use of machines that produce emissions of CO2, like cars and big power plants. While these cutbacks can be hard to make, think of all the small lives you are saving.
Humans cannot be the only species on this planet. We need species like the black fly along with other kinds of insects and animals because they help create the ecosystem. Humans need the insects to survive. Fortunately, extinction takes a long time. If we start sharing a landscape with insects, we could have saved much of the biodiversity that still exists. Here are 3 ways that you can help insects in your own backyard. First, don't rake up all the leaves in the fall. Leave some for the insects. Insects can use them as food and they can use them as shelter during the winter time. Second, put out clean water in the shallow dish with stones. This is used for the insects to perch while they drink. Finally, use beneficial insect pest control. Avoid using pesticides. They're deadly to many species.